guys, it's Chelsea from the Smart Cookie Files, and today I wanted to talk to you about the books that I read in June and also show you my June book haul. So without further ado, here's my wrap up and book haul video for June. So I only finished one of the books that I featured in my TBR, and that was People Like Us by Dana Meal. And I liked that book a lot. It had characters that were multifaceted, relatable. I liked the murder mystery aspect of it. Peer pressure. It showed stereotyping. And the only thing that I didn't like was the way that the book ended. It just kind of felt like it was a cheat. But overall, I recommend that book to anyone to check out because it definitely has a lot to offer as a story and it keeps your interest. But that's the only book that I finished in June. So now I'd like to show you all the books that I've gotten in the month of June for my book haul. Hey guys, I have a friend here who wants to say hi. It's Katrina, and she's here to talk about all the books that I got in June. Okay, so the rest of the books in my haul are not, well, I'm sorry, no. There's about 5 books in this haul that are brand new, and the rest are books that I got from a bargain store. So I don't know how brand new they are. But without further ado, here we go. So this first one I bought myself for for Go Skateboarding Day, and it's called Kickflip Boys. It was endorsed by Tony Hawk, and it's a memoir by Neil Thompson about raising his boys in skateboard community. Okay, next up, these are all books that I got from Ollie's Bargain Outlet, and the first haul I spent only $10, and it was 5 books that I got, and then the other haul, it was about $40 worth of books there, and then they took 15% off, so it only cost me $33, but it's basically a huge haul of books. So if you price all of these by their regular retail price, I'd say this is about $70 to almost $100 worth of books, and I got it for way less than that. Okay, the first book that I'll show you is The Versions of Us by Laura Bennett. And this book just looked interesting because it looks like a romance. And then also, by reading the inside cover, I can see that it's a book that allows you to basically pick the way, you know those old books where you used to pick which one you were going to do and then it would take you to a different story? I think Goosebumps used to do those, but it was, so then you choose how the book, you know, panned out. That's kind of how this is set up, so it looks like it's going to be good. Next I have the third book in Bella Thorne's series, the Autumn Falls series, and this is Autumn's Wish. I won the first Autumn Falls book in a Goodreads giveaway, and so I figured, I seen this and I said, I guess I'll read it. Next up I have Hoda's book, Where We Belong, Journeys That Show Us the Way. And I love Hoda from the Today Show. She's super genuine, super authentic, and she just seems like a very nice and warm person who has a lot of empathy. And when she shares the news headlines, you can tell that too. She's not just reading them, or she's inflicting her political or beliefs or values or bias into them. She's sharing them as a human being, sharing them with other human beings. And you could tell that. Next up, I had to get Sarah Dessen This Lullaby because I love Sarah Dessen, so when I seen that they had a few of her books, I had to get them. They were only $1.99 each, so totally saved on that. Then this is the Karen Kingsbury Baxter Family series, and it's love story. I'm going to try reading Karen Kingsbury again. I liked her when I was like in high school, and I read her whole one series, I think the original Baxter series or whatever it was. And then this is Chasing Sunsets. It's another Karen Kingsbury. Angels Walking series is this one. Love Blind by C. Desser and Jolene Perry. And it's like a dual, I want to say it's a dual perspective book with the two main characters. But I don't know any more than that. I know it's a young adult, so it looks good. This one, I was automatically attracted to the cover because it looks like a romance that takes place in a library, and so automatically I was just like, this is a dream come true book, and this was only $1.99. It's a teen novel, and it's called Back When You Were Easier to Love by Emily Wing Smith. And then the line at the bottom says, you never forget your first love, but sometimes you should. Another Sarah Dessen book, it's Along for the Ride. I got Christine Kane's newest book, Unashamed. And it was only $3.99 there. This one is one of my favorites that we had to read in school, and it's a classic. It's The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, and I always liked it. I thought it was just a very interesting story, so when I seen that they had it for $1.99, I said, it's good to add to your library. This book I'm totally stoked that I got because it's the actual book. If you aren't familiar with the show Jane the Virgin, in the show, Jane's a writer, and she eventually publishes a book, and the book is called Snow Falling, and this is the actual book. They made it into a real book, and so when I seen this there, I said, oh my gosh, I have to get this. This is called Sisters. I don't really know. It looks like it's a collection of novellas, but I was just attracted to the fact that it was called Sisters because, you know, as somebody who has two younger sisters, like, I feel like I probably could relate to this in some way, shape, or form, so that's why I got it. This is called Firstborn by Tosca Lee, and I don't really know what it is about. When I buy books for a haul or like decide to buy a book, especially when they're not that expensive, I usually just pick it either based on the cover or based on the title. I don't even really read what the book's about, even though when I choose to review books, I read what the book's about because I want the message to stand out, and I'm only going to promote books that have a good theme or message to them. But when I choose to read books, it's usually based on shallow things like what the cover is, the title, or just the overall genre of it. And this is called Firstborn. I'm the firstborn in my family. I'm also the first to graduate from college. So I just felt like this would be a good book, but I will let you know when I start reading it. Sarah Dessen, another one, That Summer. This book I actually, when I read this in high school, I remember there was a line in it that I used to write another story from because you had to take an excerpt from somebody else's work and use it to stem your own writing to write a creative piece, so that's what I had to do. This next one is called Secrets, Lies, and Scandals by Amanda K. Morgan, and it's basically a murder mystery, because I could tell from the back there's like a literal, just looks like a dead body laying on the floor of a classroom, and then it says when someone dies there should be more blood, and instantly I read that and I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta read this because I love murder mysteries. Don't know why, but I do. But I know of anybody watching this, I'm not the only one, so if you do like murder mysteries, please let me know in the comments, or if you have any recommendations of other murder mysteries. I know a lot of people recommend that I should read Agatha Christie, but I've never read any of her books, and I probably should start. Next up, they had a Meg Cabot book, and despite the fact that she unfollowed me on Twitter, and it made me so sad, I still think she's a decent writer, and I always will thank her for making the beautiful Princess Diaries books, because they're some of my favorite movies ever. And so this is called The Boy Is Back, and it looked like a romance, and it was by Meg Cabot, so I had to get it, and it was cheap. It was only $3.99. Now the next part of my book haul is the last of it, and it's all Olivia Fulmer Ard's books. Now she's a writer friend of mine, and I agreed to review all of her books for the Smart Cookie. Now I have the whole series here. This is the Bennett series, and the Partitions of Africa, or the Partition of Africa, the Marshall Plan, and the Dread Road. And they feature around things that go on in the lives of two sisters, the Bennett sisters, and they're really good. The one that I read and reviewed already is the Marshall Plan, and so I had her sign it out to me because I'm gonna keep it forever. And it says Chelsea, happy reading, and she signed it. Now, the reason I got them is because she was selling them for $2 a piece, because she's actually going to be republishing all of her books with a different publisher. These are originally published with Three Amigas Press, but I guess she's going to move them to a different publisher, so I don't know who she's going to use, but I said $2 a piece, I'm definitely going to get them. And this is her Christmas collection. It's 'Tis the Season. It's a novella based on Christmas, I'm assuming. So I also have to review that. So I'm gonna read and review all but the Marshall Plan, because I already did that one. But then you'll have to stay tuned as to why I had her sign these books. But thank you for watching my wrap-up and book haul. Oh, and lastly, in terms of my wrap-up, I've cut my hours. What I did was I cut my hours, and now I'm only going to work, I'm just going to work less and focus more on the Smart Cookie Files, focus more on making videos for you guys, and focus more on writing my novels, my own. So, thank you for watching, and until next time, feel free to express yourself. Bye, guys!